So it's been 15 years since the original Scream was released back in 1996. As we all know, Scream was released at a time when the horror genre was at a very low point. It was not dead, but it was definitely gasping for air. Scream was, heaven sent for genre fans. It revitalized the genre, it renewed the genre, and it really kick-started it. And I think that movie, of course there's been a couple other great horror movies since then, but really I think Scream has carried the genre sort of thus far. Scream 4 is being released at a time when the horror genre is yet again at a low point. We've gone through the whole remake, reboot, reimagining revolution, which was just god-awful. So painful for true horror fans. Now everything's got to be in 3D, which I think, thank God, that's sort of slowing down. Can Scream 4 do for the genre what the original Scream did? Let's see. The story takes place, we're back in Woodsboro. We've got a whole new young crew of teenagers at Woodsboro High School, headlined by people like Hayden Panettiere and Emma Roberts, and the youngest Culkin lad, who looks incredibly creepy with long hair. Deputy Dewey is now Sheriff Dewey. He's married, of course, to Gail Weathers, who is Gail Riley now, and they're living this, small town, very simple life, which, of course, to Gail is, living hell. And Sidney Prescott returns. The prodigal daughter returns to Woodsboro, and she's hawking her autobiography called Out of Darkness, which is her story of surviving the Scream films. Not in coincidence, upon her arrival, Mr. Ghostface returns, and the bodies start dropping, the horror trivia is popping, and mass murder, oh wow. Anyway, the thing this time is everybody who lives in Woodsboro, because they live in Woodsboro, which has been the setting for, to date, seven stab films. Everybody there is incredibly movie savvy. Everybody there knows every horror movie, every detail from every horror movie, every cliche from every horror movie ever made. So the kids have every year they have what's called the Stab-a-thon, where they watch all the Stab movies and they dress up, and they use the app on their iPhone, because it's an app now, the Killer Voice. You can download it from the App Store, I guess, and try and scare your friends with what's your favorite scary movie. What's funny though is, even though every character in the movie is so self-aware and so movie-savvy and so cliche-savvy when it comes to horror movies, they're so unself-aware and so stupid that they don't realize that they're in a horror movie type situation, and they're executing that cliche that just 15 minutes ago they were lambasting. Now they're literally walking off into the dark by themselves, even though there's a killer on the loose, and just last night, poor Jill was gutted, and written in blood on the wall says, Jimmy, you're next, and Jimmy's just going to go wander off into the dark by himself. Of course, we've got the opening kill. We've got to have that opening kill sequence in a Scream movie, and Kevin Williamson, to his credit, I have to say, he knows that we know that that's going to happen. So he throws us a couple of curveballs in there. Still, the opening kill sequence is very, very lame, to say the least. The story in and of itself is very, very just uninspired. There's no meat to it. There's no real there's nothing that makes you want to become involved in the movie. One of the things about Scream and even Scream 2 was you know you were thinking, okay, who's the killer? The murder mystery aspect of it was really involving. You're thinking, who's the killer, you know, or who's the killers, or there are multiple killers, what's their motivation, and you're thinking about that as the movie progresses. With Scream 4, I couldn't care. I honestly could not care. It didn't even really cross my mind, I think, even when they were doing those, you know, red herring establishing shots where, you know, just before they say cut, you know, one of the characters sort of, you know, gives one of these sort of looks like they've got something to hide. The original characters, you know, Neve Campbell's character, David Arquette, Courtney Cox Arquette, they're just sort of left spinning their wheels in this story. There's really nothing for them to do. It's funny. Sydney's nickname in the movie, everybody calls her the Grim Reaper, because wherever she goes, everybody around her dies. She never seems to die, but everybody around her seems to die. So people are kind of, you know, here comes the Grim Reaper. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. The killer reveal turned 30-minute killer monologue, motive, you know, whatever, is just laughable. And then it gets even sillier after that. There's a whole other sequence after that that's just, I mean, literally, I thought a Wayans brother was going to pop up. I thought, you know, somehow Scary Movie 12 had been cut into Scream 4. I mean, it's amusing. It's amusing because it's bad. Scream 4 is bad. Scream 4 is really bad. It pains me to say that, yet it is. It's hard for me to think that, you know, the same team that made the original Scream can make Scream 4, and what that movie is. There's no surprises in it. There's no shocks in it. There's no suspension in it. There's no tension in it. I mean, it's a pretty cut and dried slasher movie, but not a very good slasher movie. Even just on a slasher movie scale alone, it's not that good. In the script, I mean, Kevin Williamson, you know, he puts all this emphasis in, you know, I mean, he's using these terms like meta and, you know, postmodern, because he wants the audience to say, oh, this movie's so meta, this movie's so postmodern. You know, yeah, it's meta, sure. I mean, but it's not post or pre anything. It's just current crap. It's just another bad horror movie. There's a character in it, oh my god, like Sydney's aunt, who's in the movie, who provides us with a fake scare. She's out grocery shopping at like midnight, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, didn't a girl just get gutted next door like the night before, and here you go out shopping at midnight? And I mean, I guess it's supposed to establish her as a red herring too, and that she's a little unhinged or whatever, but it's just like, what? I mean, literally, I mean, toward the end, when I was watching the killer monologue, the killer reveal, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, we're watching Ghostface run around, and he turns from, like, he shrinks. When the killer reveal happens, it's just like, wait a minute, wasn't he like 6'2", like, you know, 220, running up and down these stairs, and now, you know, when the mask is pulled off, he's now like 5'4", and so, oh my god, that was so hilarious. I mean, literally, I caught myself at one point watching the movie in the dark. I had my hand over my mouth like this, and I was just like shaking my head, just like with a perplexed look on my face. It's amusing because it's so bad. I mean, that's about the best thing I can say about it. Is there any positives? Hayden Panettiere was cute. She looked cute in it. Anna Paquin from True Blood is in it for about 2 minutes, and she looked nice. That's it. That's all. That's the only positives I can think of. Yeah, I mean, it's just a bad movie. It's just a bad movie. Scream 4 is a bad movie. I'm glad it's the weekend, so that I can do a lot of heavy drinking to erase this movie from my memory, because I hope there's no more Scream movies, and I would rather think of that there was, I don't know. I mean, all the Scream movies since the first and beyond the first one have been less and less good. Scream 2 had a great opening sequence, I thought, inside the movie theater. Scream 3 was just bad. Scream 4 is just ridiculous bad. Oh, well, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, if you saw this movie and you liked it, please explain to me in the comment section below why you liked it, what you liked about it, what you think I'm missing, or, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's even the sequence where there's like dueling webcams in this movie. I mean, think about that. Dueling webcams. Okay, anyway, I'm done. Scream 4 is bad. I'm sorry. It's bad. Alright, well, you guys take it easy. Try and have a good weekend.